Couchsurfing is about meeting people, and I've met so many people, it's amazing. And gathering stories from these folks, understanding where they're from, what they're doing here, where are they going, what's their direction in life. So that's been one of the most interesting things about Couchsurfing. You just can't believe the courage of some of these folks, and you can't believe also some of the stories that they bring with them.
Couchsurfing is awesome because you find a lot of wonderful people that when I travel, I know that I can find an interesting and safe person wherever I am in the world. And so, by seeking out reading their profiles or being introduced to them from somebody else, I know that I can be in good hands and get to see an area in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise.
Couchsurfing to me has been about meeting people and sharing what little I can with them about Hawaii.
What I love about Couchsurfing is the fact that wherever you go in the world, you always have a local guide to show you the hidden gems of their country and to show you what their culture is really about.
I have a million stories. I think one of the Couchsurfing stories that I like to tell the most is about a fella that came here from Chicago. I got a message from him on Couchsurfing and saying that he needed some help and he wanted to stay with me for a while. Would it be possible? I sent him a message. I said, sure, come on down. Was his son was stationed here at Schofield Barracks, was in the Army, and had been contacting him on a regular basis, and he was really distraught and he was really afraid. Recently he had been overseas in the Middle East and he had got shot, and while he was recovering they told him that, well, next year again your unit is going back, and he was terrified. He was really afraid and he didn't want to go back. He had no resources to draw upon in order to help out his son. He was so proud of his son being in the military down here at Schofield Barracks. He was absolutely beaming. But he heard his voice and he knew that his son was actually interested in telling them, I don't want to go. He was actually to that point. He told his dad, he says, I feel if I go this time, he says, I think I'm gonna die this time. You know? For a father to hear that from his son, it was terrifying for him. When he came down here, he was totally afraid. He contacted his son the day before he arrived. His son was ecstatic that he was coming down to visit. And he told his son, he says, I'm gonna be there for at least a week until you guys deploy. And what he did was he came down and he came to my place the first night with his son and introduced himself and looked around the place. He was so scared, he was actually shaking right away. And every day what he would do is he would create a beautiful Peruvian dish for his son and his friends, leave us some at the house, and then take off and go visit with his son as long as he could, as many hours as he could during the day. And then a few days later, about 4 days later, his son actually caught his aircraft out of Hickam going back to the Middle East. And it was so good that he was there to see his son off to go to war again. And he knew that without him being there, it might not have happened. But he was so proud. Yeah.
You always meet open-minded people and you get to share experiences and go on adventures.
The most that I contribute is simply gathering information and sharing with other couch surfers whenever possible. There are some people who, they do come to learn, other people just come to party.
Through Couchsurfing, I had a wonderful experience. 3 years ago, I met someone for a day in Slovenia. And he said, well, if you come back, you can spend the summer. And so time went by. And last summer, I said, sure, I can come in. And I spent 30 days there. And of that 30 days, I spent a week in Nova Gorica with a girlfriend that I met in Tunisia. And we traveled to Italy and Croatia. And then I spent 3 weeks of that in Ljubljana. And met wonderful other people, including other couch surfers. So one just happened to be right next door to me. And she
What I like about couchsurfing is that to meet new people, to have them influence me by their culture. I love to hike, so I'll hike with a lot of couchsurfers, hang out with them, get a drink, just hang out. Yeah, that's what I love.